sit, enjoying the shade.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
Drink the drink that I have made.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
Good evening, happy Sunday, and welcome to Drink in the Style, brought to you by Habitation Furnishing and Design on Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. I'm your host, Gregory Rich, and I'm going to help you kill your Sunday early evening with some booze and conversation. Our guest this week is Mr. Matthew Thiel, Regional Representative for Guardsman Furniture Protection Programs. And while that may not sound exciting, and no offense, Matt, on that, but
none taken.
You're going to want to listen to this, listeners, because we're going to tell you everything you need to know about fabric protection and how that program works, what the value is, and all types of exciting insider information. So, Matt, welcome to Drink in the Style.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on board. You guys may not know, Matt is a great guy, truly an individual who is a joy to be around, so I'm sure you're going to be a great, great guest.
Well, I'm really pleased to be here.
Okay, so here is another first for Drink in the Style, and that is that our usual mixologist, Mr. Jordan Morris, is not available to be with us today. Jordan had an emergency catering event that pulled him away. So he's left us to fend for ourselves, and his absence is truly felt. That said, I, Gregory Rich, your host, will therefore be working as our expert mixologist.
I love it. I love that you're getting the opportunity to spread your wings, because I feel like there's an inner mixologist inside of you that's just been waiting to come out.
Yeah, but he's always drunk, so he can't really remember what the drinks are. That's the problem.
I also understand that we don't have to fear too long, because you are taking me to Mill Valley Kitchen immediately after this.
You are absolutely right. We're going to swing over and we're going to talk about how great the show went without that Jordan Morris.
Love it.
That's awesome. And of course, we're joined by Hunter Hawes in the production booth as well. Hunter,
hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
All right, so here we go. Dual roles as mixologist and host on Drink in the Style. So I thought to myself, what am I necessarily going to make for this particular episode? We like to have the cocktails reflect our guest's area of expertise. So I sat down and I thought to myself, what do I think of when I think of Matt Thiel? What do I think of? And basically, Matt, when I think about you, I think about stains.
Oh, good. You know what? I feel like I'm okay with being associated with imperfection.
Yeah, are you? All right.
Yeah. You know what? In fact, I kind of like that.
Good for you.
So.
All right. Well, all right. So everyone should know Matt Thiel. When you think Matt Thiel, you think stains, discolorations, Mars marks, and things like that. When I do think of stains, of course, I think of something else. I think of children.
Okay.
And when I think of children, I think of milk.
All right.
And when I think of milk, I move right along because I have no use for milk. But I move to cream. And when I think of cream, I think of White Russians.
Oh, absolutely. The chocolate milk for adults.
There, you're absolutely right. It is. It's calcium rich and delightful.
Yeah.
So we're going to do White Russians. I mean, it's an easy drink to make, and I think I'm actually capable of it. So we are going to get started right away. For those of you who are not familiar with the White Russian, most famously drunk heavily during the indie cult super movie The Big Lebowski.
Oh, the dude.
The dude abides. Hunter, are you a Big Lebowski fan?
I am.
Everybody loves The Big Lebowski. I mean,
The dude.
The dude abides.
I kind of got the look of the dude.
Yeah, you got a little dude in you.
You kind of do.
I've got long hair and a mustache for the listeners.
He's not wearing a bathrobe, though. Thank God for that. So the dude, he drank the White Russian all the way through the drink, or through the movie, and you can't watch the movie without going on like a 3-week White Russian kick afterwards.
Right. That should be your trivia question for next week or something, is how much did the dude write the check for the cream at the beginning of the movie? You're
absolutely right. Listeners, if anybody, all right, here it is. First person to go onto our Facebook page and tell me what the dude wrote the check for during The Big Lebowski when he bought cream gets 10% off anything at Habitation Furnishing and Design.
Nice.
Nice? All right.
Yeah.
Hunter, let me know if anybody pings on Facebook and
Will do.
comes up with the answer.
Perfect.
All right. So a White Russian is a very simple drink, only 3 ingredients plus ice. So the ingredients are, of course, 1 part Kahlua, 1 ounce Kahlua, 2 ounces vodka, over ice with a generous splash of cream, and that is all that you need to do. Nice. So we're going to get started. I forgot to ask Hunter to set up the mixing music, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it anyway. You want to do some a cappella?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Don't ask again.
All right.
I appreciate the No, Greg had me sing for him before coming on here. And
Matt is actually in a band of his own, and the band is called?
Fender Bender. FenderBenderMN.com.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's a little plug.
Yeah.
All right. So we have basically rocks glasses. You don't want to use a taller glass because that's going to lead you to skew the proportion of cream.
Okay.
If the radio listening audience can hear, I'm filling the glasses with ice.
I like a lot of ice.
No, there's nothing wrong with ice. That's how I get my water. There's a guy who used to work at the Mist restaurant or the Mist bar back in the day off of Lake Minnetonka. And I think he was like 86. And he, honest to God, said that he had not had a drink of water in like 50 years.
He got it all from his melted ice.
He lived till he was almost 90, too.
Which I learned, by the way, from this show. I did not realize that the definition of a cocktail was that it had water in it. I think Jordan mentioned that in a previous episode.
Right? Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, that kind of, I had no idea.
So we're mixing it together. We're doing 2 ounces of vodka. We chose Trader Joe's vodka because we also chose Trader Joe's half and half. I will say I'm a big fan of their half and half. But I would not necessarily say the vodka's at the quality level you would hope. 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of Kahlua, and Kahlua is a coffee liqueur that is based on vodka as well. So we're really looking at 2.5 shots in a White Russian worth of alcohol. And then a generous helping, a dash, actually, of whipping cream. Stir as we work through. And you, ladies and gentlemen, have created a White Russian.
Oh.
Absolutely delicious drink.
I knew the ingredients. I did not know the proportions, so this is actually really helpful to me.
This one looks a little bit light, to be honest with you. I might have gotten too generous on the half and half, but nevertheless, it's still a great drink. So we're not going to drink it quite yet. We're going to go into the commercial break in just a moment and give our listeners a chance to run to the kitchen, gather up the ingredients that are necessary for a White Russian.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Well, we're going to go to break, but when we come back, we will be enjoying the White Russian with Matt Thiel of Guardsman. A quick reminder that you are listening to Drink in the Style, brought to you by Habitation Furnishing and Design. Check us out at habitationdesign.com or drinkinthestyle.com. We'll be back in just a moment.
Where in the world you been? I ain't had the mysteries since you've been gone. Hello, trouble, 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 welcome home.
Hi, Gregory Rich, host of Drink in the Style, Sundays at 5 p.m. right here on AM 950. Have you heard about Designer Rehab? Designer Rehab is the area's coolest furniture consignment store. Gently used furnishings as well as closeouts and clearance items at really stellar prices. Whether you're shopping or interested in consigning, Designer Rehab is a must visit in the Twin Cities. Located at 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. Designer Rehab, it's only a matter of time. Gus Modern out of Toronto, Canada has crushed the Twin Cities market with their amazingly refined blend of mid-century and contemporary furniture styles. It's kind of Scandinavian, it's kind of clean, it's just plain cool. And the fact is that Gus Modern is an affordable, delightful product line. We've got all of it for you to take a look at Habitation Furnishing and Design on Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. Come on in and check it out or go to gusmodern.com.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces is having its annual store-wide sale. For the entire month of July, all of our indoor and outdoor fireplace products and accessories are at their lowest price of the year. At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we display, explain, and install the Twin Cities' most diverse selection of indoor and outdoor stoves and fireplaces, including metal and masonry pizza ovens.
My dog Stenson loves summers, visiting the dog park, long walks in the woods, and sleeping in the sun. But he is missing winter. Oh, not the outdoor outhouse, snow on his paws or frozen ears, but those lovely long nights in front of the fire. I bought an energy-efficient wood stove from Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces about 7 years ago. Having a wood stove means more than lower heating bills. It means a happy dog.
Come see us. We have over 35 working displays in our store, which is just off I-94 at the corner of Riverside and East Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, since 1977, out of the ordinary products and services to make fire work for you.
Did you know that Habitation Furnishing and Design has the area's largest selection of noir and CFC furniture? Are you familiar with them? I once had a customer describe noir as a cross between Restoration Hardware and Beetlejuice. I love that. And CFC, bench-made furniture out of the heart of California, is definitionally cool. In any event, check out the lines at noirfurniturela.com and then swing into the store and check them out in person. Habitation Furnishing and Design, 1 mile east of Highway 100 on Excelsior Boulevard. Hi, Gregory Rich, owner of Habitation Furnishing and Design and host of Drink in the Style right here on AM 950. Hey, I've only got a few seconds, so here's the deal. Habitation is the coolest furniture store in town. Not only have we got some of the most exceptional furniture in the cities, but in many cases, Habitation can offer you store credit on your existing furniture. Stop in, talk to one of our designers, and let us help you make your home exceptional. Habitation Furnishing and Design, 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. Welcome back to Drinkin' the Style, brought to you by Habitation Furnishing and Design, located on Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. We are currently about to taste a White Russian in homage to Jeff Bridges and the Big Lebowski.
That was the longest 3.5 minutes of my life, letting this sit in front of me without taking a drink, by the way. So thank you for testing my patience. I needed that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This is really my only exercise in self-restraint all week, and I passed.
We really, by the way, for the people that are watching on Facebook, they can back this up. We really did not take a drink of it. So
yeah, it's true. We raised it a couple times and then stopped before we actually sipped it. I mean, it may be this kind of sketchy vodka that I chose has me slightly frightened. Although again, it's weird. Vodka is not supposed to taste like anything. Good vodka is supposed to have, or any vodka by definition is supposed to be flavorless. And we did our pre-show shot, and no, it has lots of flavor.
I can't believe how much about my alcoholism I learn here. I mean, because there's a lot of that, stuff I didn't know, and that's another one right there.
The Educated Alcoholic. That would have been a great radio program title. If we go back and redo it, that may be it. All right, so we're going to try and see what the value of vodka quality is. I want you, Matt, to go first.
You want me to go first? All right, so what I look for, I got to tell you with what you said, I don't want to taste the vodka. I don't want it to. I just want it to be. I want it to be there, and I want it to be that undercurrent of kind of that punch in the gut. But I want it to be chocolate milky. So here I go.
So he's going to try, and we've also, this is very light, and we did fortify this with a little extra Kahlua. And no, he doesn't look happy.
No, it's good. It has all the elements of the of it.
Okay.
But I can tell you, I can taste the difference between Kettle One and Trader Joe's Versatile Spirit Vodka.
I once had a guy who he would only drink Chopin. He was a friend of mine. Chopin, which is a potato vodka out of Poland or something, I think.
Named after the composer.
Named, I assume, after the composer. And I had this big what do you call it? Taste test, a blind, like the Pepsi Challenge taste test.
Okay.
In my office. This is back about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I put a glass of Kharkov vodka.
Oh no!
Which I believe is like $6.99
in the plastic bottle.
In a plastic bottle. Then Chopin.
Okay.
Then Kettle One.
Okay.
And then Kharkov vodka that I had run through a Brita water filter 5 times.
Okay.
to run through.
Okay.
And do you know what they chose? I had 2
no.
other guys tasting.
So tell me again, how many choices there were?
There
5?
were four choices. There was Kharkov filtered,
Yep.
Chopin, and Kettle One.
I couldn't guess because I've heard of wine taste tests like this too. Go on.
The answer was, believe it or not, Kharkov. It actually
Not filtered. The not filtered version.
Not filtered. Kharkov followed by Kharkov filtered, followed by, I think one guy liked Kettle One, the other guy liked Chopin better.
Wow.
I know. It was just unbelievable.
That is pretty funny. I hear that there's another podcast that I listen to, Freakonomics, that did this with
Stephen Dubner. Yes.
Oh yes, yeah, love it. That did one with some club at Harvard, and I'm going to mess up all the details on this, but these guys were wine aficionados, and one of their underlings set it up for them, and they chose the $3 the Trader Joe's bottle.
Right? Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, and they were not pleased with the results. They were furious.
It's all about expectations,
Yeah.
I think. And because that was the one where they were trying to determine expectations associated with the cost of the wine. So they put one out that they said was a $10 bottle of wine.
Yes.
One that was a $30
Yes, you've
bottle
heard
of
it.
wine.
Love it.
Big Freakonomics listener.
Oh, man.
In fact,
another thing we got in common.
Did you happen to notice the latest Freakonomics was introduction of the future of Freakonomics?
Yeah.
They have some amazing things going on.
I know. I'm excited.
I've learned so much on Freakonomics. I hope our listeners are
This is
podcast
not a
listeners.
Freakonomics commercial, by the way.
Screw that. I'm sending a note to Stephen
They want to
Dubner.
send some of that money this way.
Yeah, exactly. Let's have some of that big Freakonomics swag.
Yeah, exactly.
As we send it through. It's it's awesome. I also learned about, and this is totally off target topic, but we're going to talk about it anyway.
Yeah.
About the Cobra effect.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the Cobra effect?
Yes, but only recently.
Okay.
And why don't you enlighten me again?
Well, no, I mean it's a great thing. Hunter, have you ever heard of the Cobra effect?
No, I haven't.
All right. I hope I haven't talked about this on the show because I talk about the Cobra effect a lot because I see it absolutely everywhere.
Okay.
It's an economics term, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And what it means is when you take reasonable action,
Okay.
and then that action results in the exact opposite effect from what you had intended.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes. Yeah. This is one of the things that they talk about with this, and thank you for refreshing me, was animals that are placed on the endangered species list. That sometimes not when they're on it, but just before, if word hits people that they're going to say, okay, we're not allowed to take, any of their environment or, those sorts of things, that it'll lead to crazy, if it were an owl or something, they'll just say, well, let's log it all. So then they can't. Yeah. So it's really, so to me, it's like, if you're going to do it,
You got to do it.
Sneak attack.
No warning
Exactly.
before they strike through it.
Yeah. So
Quickly, because I've always wanted a snowy owl
Yes.
stuffed on my mantle. So,
they taste like chicken.
No snowy owls were hurt
sorry.
in any way in the making of this podcast. But the history of the Cobra effect, because listeners may remember, I love history. The history of the Cobra effect comes from the 19th century governor of Delhi.
Yes.
I don't know if it was Delhi or New Delhi.
Okay.
I'm not up on my geography in India. Who decided, he was a British governor, and he decided that there were too many cobras.
Yes.
In the city, and if you ask me, one cobra is too many cobras, but he said too many cobras. So he did a reasonable thing. He put a bounty out on cobras. Kill all the cobras.
Seems smart, right?
And he suddenly realized, they discovered that after about a year or something like that, there were more cobras than there had been before, or at least the same number in the cities, and yet they had been paying all this money for all these dead cobras, the Indians. And it was a short period of time before they discovered that an entire cobra farming industry had sprung up.
Because it was now a for-profit.
Industrious Indians were farming cobras in their homes in the city of Delhi.
Yeah.
So they found that, and then the governor does the next reasonable thing, which is he says, all right, well, then kill that. I'm not going to pay for any more cobras. And then all the cobra farmers release, and the city is overwhelmed with cobras. That's the Cobra effect.
Oh, I've heard it. So back to Freakonomics, too. I think they've talked about it with charging like per bag of garbage, and then people, rather than paying by the bag or just throw it in the woods or in their neighbor's yard or whatever. Yeah,
It's insane.
Yeah.
People will always
So-
find a way.
Yeah,
You know, you can't
yeah.
outthink the horde, the
Right.
hive, I mean to say, that is to say.
Yeah.
All of the, the creative minds.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, well, that was an interesting
Well, yes, that
sojourn.
aside.
And we've made our way through half of our White Russians already, which is the risk of a White Russian.
I know.
But they do go down very
It is
easy.
growing on me. That vodka, it's with every sip
The Trader Joe's
Yes,
vodka
yes.
is getting better and
Yeah,
better.
so.
That's the beauty of it. That's
I
why I
know.
always start with the good booze, and then you move down.
Right.
All right. Well, once again, I'd like to remind you are listening to Drink in the Style with me, Gregory Rich, on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. We're going to be back in just a minute, and we're going to actually talk about some important things associated with furniture business, with fabric protection and furniture protection. Stay with us. We'll be back in a minute.
Somebody told me when I came to Nashville.
This is Gregory Rich, host of Drink in the Style, and I want to talk to you about rehab. Not that kind. I'm talking about Designer Rehab in St. Louis Park. Designer Rehab is the best furniture consignment store in the Twin Cities, and we're currently accepting consignment on gently used sofas, chairs, tables, and more. If you're ready for an upgrade, bring your furniture in for consignment. Then swing over to Habitation Furnishing and Design and let us fill your home with some of the best furnishings you'll find anywhere. Designer Rehab. It's only a matter of time.
With all the convenient big box stores that sell appliances, why do so many Minnesotans choose Warner Stellian? Check online to learn that Warner Stellian is a Minnesota family-owned business for over 60 years. Warner Stellian sells more brands than anyone else, and our passionate specialists are committed to impressing you so much that you'll refer us to everyone you know. That's our mission here at Warner Stellian. Ask around, check us out online, and when it's your time to buy appliances, join over 300,000 Minnesota homeowners and choose the specialists, Warner Stellian.
Northeast Minneapolis is known for its creativity, and you'll know exactly why when you eat at Hazel's Northeast. Their creatively prepared comfort food will have you coming back week after week. Breakfasts like biscuits and gravy, granola pancakes, and brisket hash. For lunch, homemade soup and one of the best Reubens in town. And don't miss the daily risotto or Chef Ali's ever-changing dinner specials. Come on in. Bring the whole family. Hazel's Northeast delivers real good food. Family owned at 29th and Johnson in Minneapolis.
Did you know that Habitation Furnishing and Design has the area's largest selection of noir and CFC furniture? Are you familiar with them? I once had a customer describe noir as a cross between Restoration Hardware and Beetlejuice. I love that. And CFC, bench-made furniture out of the heart of California, is definitionally cool. In any event, check out the lines at noirfurniturela.com and then swing into the store and check them out in person. Habitation Furnishing and Design, 1 mile east of Highway 100 on Excelsior Boulevard. Hi, Gregory Rich, owner of Habitation Furnishing and Design and host of Drink in the Style Sundays at 5 p.m. right here on AM 950. Habitation is Minneapolis' coolest furniture design studio. Our in-house design staff specializes in creating spaces that reflect your style, your values, and your taste. From edgy modern to transitional, Habitation is here to help you craft your home. Know what's also exciting? Habitation offers AM 950 listeners complimentary interior design services, which include an appraisal of any furniture pieces you may want to trade in for store credit. That's right. Habitation will take your gently used furniture and issue you store credit on fresh, fantastic furniture. Check out Habitation today. 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park, 1 mile east of Highway 100, or visit us online at habitationdesign.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Sam Turnberg. Tonight will be mostly cloudy with a low around 63. Tomorrow is sunny with a high near 84. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 79. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 81. And Thursday, mostly cloudy with a high near 76. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces offers great indoor and outdoor stoves and fireplaces. Good for warming yourself by a fire or cooking in a beautiful wood-burning oven. Conveniently located between Minneapolis and St. Paul at 2901 Franklin Avenue East. For more information, visit woodlandstoves.com.
I keep hearing you're concerned about my happiness, but all that thought you're giving me is conscience, I guess. If I were walking in your shoes,
Drink in the Style. We are listening today to some unusual music, the soundtrack from Jeff Bridges' great movie, Crazy Heart. That was the Statler Brothers, Flowers on the Wall.
I always think of that as a Pulp Fiction tune.
I don't think that one was in Pulp Fiction.
Really?
You're thinking of...
Am I thinking something else?
Which one was the Statler Brothers on Pulp Fiction? Was it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty dang sure. Because I don't have the Crazy Heart soundtrack, but I own the Pulp Fiction one. I was issued it when I went to college in 1994.
Really? Well, that's authoritative. All right. Well, we sojourned into Pulp Fiction, which is also an amazingly good.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm like, I thought we were on the Big Lebowski, but so I didn't realize. By the way, this is I think I'm going to run out immediately. Well, run out. Look at me, how old I am. I'm going to run out and buy a CD. That actually just came out of my face. Yeah, anyway,
We're dating ourselves, there's no doubt.
Am I that old?
We are all that old.
Oh,
That's
my Lord.
terrible. It's just terrifying. That, by the way, is Matt Thiel from Guardsman and a couple of other areas that we're going to talk about. And we have been enjoying the White Russians way too much.
Maybe a little too much.
On the show. But now let's jump and talk a little bit about something that may benefit people overall, and something I actually think is really, really important and often misunderstood. So, Mr. Thiel,
yes.
Tell us in 90 seconds everything we need to know about furniture protection programs.
I love it. Thank you. So the Guardsman Company is a company that I've worked for about a year and a half only, but I started working with them for a couple of reasons, but one of them is that how much I believe in it. And one of the first customers that I met was at Habitation. And I have always thought, or I was just going to say that on Minnesota's progressive radio, that you guys have a real stance in being a progressive leader in leading the way in this, because I've always thought buying furniture is kind of an interesting thing. A lot of people don't like to buy furniture because they're approached by salespeople, right? Mm-hmm. And these salespeople are in their face all the time. Mm-hmm. And part of my thing as a rep on the other side is trying to help those salespeople to take that salesperson mentality out of their vibe, mm-hmm. right? And if we can join with people and just looking at it a little bit differently and saying, I don't want to sell you furniture, but you know what I want to do is I want to help you create a room that somebody's proud of. Mm-hmm. And once you look at it that way, this sort of protection thing that I work with, the furniture protection programs, it becomes a way to ease people's mind and to have a longer enjoyment in that pride that
mm-hmm.
in all that time and effort that you took.
It's a really good point.
Yeah.
You're exactly right, because you know people are frightened of a number of things, you know, when shopping and buying furniture. I mean, on one hand, you know, there's concern about you're putting your own taste and style on display,
right?
You know, and that's a little bit of an ego risk.
Right.
Two, you're making an investment. I mean, furniture is. I mean, it's not buying a car, but it is a big expense.
Often not cheap, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, are you necessarily going to you know, get what you want out of that? But you made an interesting point, and that is the salesman aspect associated with it.
Right.
Now, one of the interesting things about the furniture protection program is that, you know, most people don't want to buy it because, you know, they feel that it's got to be some kind of a scam. And when salespeople come up and offer it, they feel like salespeople. When designers want to sell it to you, it feels like this is like getting the clear coat.
Exactly.
On the car.
Yeah, the undercoating from Fargo.
Exactly.
Bringing in every movie.
Total movie
here.
theme.
Yeah,
exactly. Absolutely.
You're going to want
do a
that
great
true
movie
quote,
night.
you know.
But you know, but the point is that it is really a great product. So when you buy Guardsman Protection, what specifically does it do for you as a buyer?
Right. So every piece of furniture that you buy, it doesn't matter if you buy it at Target or at Habitation or anything in between, they always have some sort of warranty, right? If you buy an end table and the leg cracks when you're putting it together, you know that you can bring that back and they're gonna help you out. Mm-hmm. We like to think that this covers things that you do right? Rather than things that would have happened anyway.
So not manufacturers.
Exactly.
Manufacturers.
So let's say the dog has an accident on it, or the cat scratches it, or you have your friends over and they're not as, or they're clumsier with their White Russians than we are. Or if...
I've made a mess, actually.
Oh, did you? I didn't notice that over
much clumsier than me.
Or... you've got kids or grandkids, and they take a Sharpie to the back of the marker, or, it's all those things that, getting back. I always go back to the pride aspect, because we put so much time, effort, and money into creating these spaces that we're proud of. And to me, I always say that one ink spot in your jug of Trader Joe's half and half really spoils the whole thing, but really, I'm making a joke there, but really, to me, I don't know. It's probably just my personality. But if I put whatever, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 into a beautiful living room that I can't wait to show off, and 2 weeks into it, my daughter is coloring with Sharpie, and and it ends up on there. Back to my imperfection, where you'd think that I would embrace that, but
it simply takes something away from it. There's no doubt.
Absolutely.
So you go in and you spill tomato juice on the rug.
Yes.
Or on the rug, because it's covered rugs
yeah.
As well. Or you sit down on your dining room chair and you've got your car keys in your back pocket, and you stand up and you gouge into the seat of the dining room chair.
Yeah.
Or you're sitting on your sofa and suddenly you have your dog jump up, and that dog starts chewing on his bone, and in the process winds up ripping up the cushion that you didn't notice until it was too late.
And
all those things are covered under the program.
Can you believe that? And not only that, but this is all they need to understand. This is included with the service at Habitation.
Exactly.
So it's most places, I'm going to tell you, most places charge 8, 10, up to 12% of the price of the product. And for you guys to just say, you know what, the happiness of our customers is too important to us, that this is it's something we're going to take care of for them. Just take it off list of things they have to worry about.
Right. Thank you. I mean, it's been the type of thing I've argued about forever, and that is that, the world is so complicated. Can't someone who knows what they're doing, who's an expert in the field, necessarily make the decisions that are going to benefit me, because I'm not equipped to make those decisions. It's like we said. So a person walks up to you, a salesperson walks up to you, or a designer, and says, would you like to buy the fabric protection? You're going to generally be inclined to say no, because you want to save money. But in truth, it really is a great program. I mean, I personally had an experience before I even owned this particular store, where my daughter was having a birthday party, and her little friend spilled Kool-Aid all over the sofa.
Right.
And when I say spilled Kool-Aid, I should say they were watching Caroline. They were 5 years old. I snuck in and screamed to try to scare them all, and she dropped the Kool-Aid onto the sofa.
All your fault, clearly.
But the program allowed me to call in local or an 800 number, I don't remember which.
Yeah.
They sent somebody out within 48 hours, tried to remove that stain, were unsuccessful, and replaced that sofa. I got a check for that actual sofa replacement. It was amazing.
And just not to cut you off, but just let's say that fabric that you had on that sofa had been discontinued, right? Or, was no longer available, and you had a matching chair and ottoman, they would have replaced that as well. So it's not just the piece, but it's matching pieces.
It's assuring you that what you have is going to remain beautiful.
Absolutely. I love that.
Right?
Say that again.
It's assuring you that what you have is going to remain beautiful.
Absolutely.
And with a minimum of effort that you need to exert on it. It really does make sense. And that's why at Habitation we made the decision to go ahead and we're going to include that on all of the merchandise that we're selling.
I cannot imagine a more progressive stance to take on the progressive voice of the Twin Cities.
We want to make furniture absolutely great.
I love
and thank you. And kind of is progressive. And we try to be forward thinking, which is why, incidentally, Habitation Furnishing and Design was named an emerging star.
What?
In the North American Home Furnishing Association this year. Stores that have been open for 1 to 3 years. We just made it under the wire on 3 years.
That's pretty cool.
Now, you've been in the furniture business for a while
I have.
as well, and I know you actually do a couple of things in addition. Let me ask you, what's the first change that comes to mind that has happened since you got into this business?
Changes. So when I talk about changes, and the the focus of this program is not only drinking but design.
They go hand in hand, Matt.
They go hand in hand. They probably do. One of the things that has really changed to me at retail and in customers' homes is what I'm going to call a change in what a lot of designers call the vertical design element of a room. So with that in mind, when I started in furniture in 1995, we had all these tall pieces of furniture that we used to sell, right? So if you were going to sell somebody a living room, right, if you were going to work with them on putting together a living room that they were proud of, you'd have to hide the TV in this big TV armoire, right?
Yes. The 300-pound TV.
Yes,
by the way.
absolutely. That you can't get rid of now.
Literally have to pay to make it go away.
Absolutely. China cabinets. We used to sell. I literally used to put a China cabinet in 60 to 70% of the rooms that I sold a dining table for. Right. In Furniture Today tells us 2 years ago they told us that we sold 3% of the China cabinets that we sold in 1995.
Wow.
So isn't that crazy?
Wow.
That's what's happened to, and it only has to do with style. I'll just a quick aside. A few years ago, my grandma passed away, and my mom asked me if I wanted her china, right? And it was, this was something that she had, one of her prized possessions. And I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm never going to use it. I'm just going to store it somewhere, and I'm just going to feel bad when I sell it on eBay. I said no. It's just not. It's not part of our lifestyle. We're getting rid of things, not adding things. Right.
My own parents actually asked me a number of years ago if I would like the tea set that they had, the silver tea set that I spent half of my childhood polishing over. and I said no. And you know what? Actually, interestingly enough, though, I actually regret that decision because No, silver is incredibly cheap. It's like $3 an ounce or something. It's insane. But there's a company called Julia Moss. She is awesome. She has a studio uptown. She developed this system for dipping china or tea sets into these brightly colored, I'm pitching Julia Moss.
Yeah, right.
These brightly colored paints and makes these amazing looks.
Wow.
It's so cool. So, it's using something, to update it that is still got the bones of awesomeness.
Can we get back to the changes when we get back?
We will. We're going to come back in just a moment. Back to the changes. Once again, Drinking the Style here on AM 950. Stick with us because we're going to talk about some really interesting stuff when we get back.
Sharing your suffering to make you well, Give me reasons to believe that you would.
Hi, Gregory Rich, host of Drinkin' the Style, right here on AM 950. If you're a small business owner like me, I know you're buried in paperwork. State tax filing, sales tax, property tax, insurance, it never ends. But what about payroll? I'd like to recommend ADP. ADP can handle all of your payroll needs, ranging from direct deposit to unemployment insurance. And they've got great local representatives as well. Why don't you give my rep, Shelby Logue, a call at 320-420-0900.
The only thing better than being outdoors, soaking up that summer sunshine, is coming into a nice, cool, air-conditioned house afterwards. So if you're looking at updating or buying a new AC, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has some great systems at $700 off during July. There's even easy financing options available on approved credit. It's no sweat. Really, no sweat. Call today and ask how you can save $700 on your new air conditioner. Learn more at standardheatingdeals.com. Some restrictions apply.
Hi, Gregory Rich, owner of Habitation Furnishing and Design and host of Drink in the Style right here on AM 950. Hey, I've only got a few seconds, so here's the deal. Habitation is the coolest furniture store in town. Not only have we got some of the most exceptional furniture in the cities, but in many cases, Habitation can offer you store credit on your existing furniture. Stop in, talk to one of our designers, and let us help you make your home exceptional. Habitation Furnishing and Design, 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park.
This summer, you have lots of choices when it comes to your carpet and air duct cleaning, so make it a smart one with Zero Res. Only Zero Res cleans with patent-empowered water, so you know you get healthy, clean carpet that's safe for your family. It's like remodeling, but without the price tag. So schedule your carpet cleaning today and get the Zero Res Summer 3-Room Special. And this month, save $50 when you get your air ducts Zero Res clean. Call 952-ZERO-RES or visit ZeroResMN.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forward, it spells the same.
Hi, Gregory Rich, host of Drink in the Style, Sundays at 5 p.m. right here on AM 950. Have you heard about Designer Rehab? Designer Rehab is the area's coolest furniture consignment store. Gently used furnishings as well as closeouts and clearance items at really stellar prices. Whether you're shopping or interested in consigning, Designer Rehab is a must-visit in the Twin Cities. Located at 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. Designer Rehab. It's only a matter of time. Gus Modern out of Toronto, Canada has crushed the Twin Cities market with their amazingly refined blend of mid-century and contemporary furniture styles. It's kind of Scandinavian, it's kind of clean, it's just plain cool. And the fact is that Gus Modern is an affordable, delightful product line. We've got all of it for you to take a look at Habitation Furnishing and Design on Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. Come on in and check it out or go to gusmodern.com.
Yeah, you know I once was a gambler, but I lost.
Welcome
my
back
money
to
roll.
Drink in the Style, brought to you by Habitation Furnishing and Design in St. Louis Park on Excelsior Boulevard. Matt.
Yes, sir.
We had started a conversation on changes
Yeah.
in the industry. You'd mentioned China cabinets. You're absolutely right. That type of thing is gone.
Yeah.
What does
yeah.
that mean? I mean,
well,
so you've
I was
lost
talking.
that.
I was talking about I was talking about the lack of vertical design elements, and of course, you know, you and me get together and with a drink in our hand, and we go left and then left again, and then back to the right, and then hard left, then U-turn. So I was just mentioning, which was what makes this program fun. I was just mentioning things that we used to sell for the living room, family room, and dining room that were tall, right? I'll just to finish up, we used to sell wall units. I mean, if you walked into a retail store, there were all these big things to house the TVs. There were computer armoires. If you didn't have a whole room to devote to the computer, you'd put it in the back of the family room and you'd hide it in this big thing. Believe it or not, we used to sell gun cabinets. Can you even imagine that? That people,
we could get off on a tangent.
Let's
big time
not.
on that.
Let's
We're not
avoid
going
that
there.
one. But I'll just say this: people used to think it was a good idea to put guns in their entryway in a glass cabinet. Anyway,
Notice the
moving
China
on.
cabinet and the gun cabinet.
All right.
Welcome to Wyoming.
All right, moving on. Here's the point. The point is, and this is something that I like to say, is that good design doesn't end at the top of the back of the recliner, right?
It's got great truth.
It's fun.
I'm not sure it's going to be a
Right.
memorable line,
Right.
but it's got great truth.
Right. So vertical design elements are really important now. So that's the biggest change now is having to hunt a little bit for that vertical design element. So that was one of the questions that I wanted to ask of you is what really cool things, etagères and big leaning mirrors and art and clocks and bookcases and what neat things they have at Habitation that fill that vertical design niche that I'm going to tell you don't see out there in the furniture industry.
Honestly, that is a really absolute truth, and it's a challenge for designers. It is vertical. All the vertical stuff, as you're pointing out, the media cabinets, the tall things that would fill up wall space, would give you some height, would, as they always like to say on design shows, draw the eye upward.
Right.
I don't know why everyone's eyes are supposed to be drawn upward, but they are.
We're
and
looking
all
to
of
the
those
sky.
stalwarts are gone.
Right.
And how do you address that? I mean, one of my favorite suppliers at the store that does a lot of things like that is Phillips Collection.
Nice.
Which is what they call organic contemporary design.
Cool.
So they do a lot of these really awesome
burl woods.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Kamcha wood consoles and things. And then they also do a lot of sculptural work.
Yeah.
Statues that are kind of contemporary or organic, pieces of freestanding wood. We also, you remember the grandfather? Of course you remember the grandfather clocks.
Of course.
Right? That was the concept, was that it would draw the eye forward.
Yeah.
We have, and this is a beautiful setup. Really,
oh my gosh.
We are professionals.
I can't believe how well this worked out.
One of the great suppliers that is on the floor at Habitation Design is a company called Howard Miller.
Howard Miller, right. Howard Miller, which is, they're the largest clock company in the world. And what do you know? I represent them as well.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Bump, set,
That's
spike.
amazing how that worked out.
Howard Miller used to be known for doing a lot. I mean, they started to a great extent, or their biggest impact on the market was with grandfather clocks.
Absolutely.
And these large, tall, traditional pieces.
Absolutely. In fact, to this day, 8.5 out of every 10 grandfather, I'm putting that in quotes, clocks, sold in the world, not the nation, in the world, is a Howard Miller.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that insane?
That is insane.
But it has completely changed. It's not a big cherry thing with that split pediment at the top. It's not an oak bonnet thing with a seashell on it, right? You should see this stuff. It's pretty cool. It's 2 slabs of solid acacia live edge with chrome on it. It's steampunk. It really doesn't matter. As contemporary as your room is, as transitional, as traditional, as farmhouse, as you name the style, they have that vertical design piece.
It's an absolutely great line. And you know what I'm going to actually do right here, spur of the moment. This actually legitimately is. Howard Miller items at Habitation Furnishing and Design are going to be 20% off this week.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
And it's going to be a chance for people to come in and take a look and see how this whole organic movement is necessarily gonna work. So yeah, I mean it is wonderful. So folks, please do come in and have a quick listen, have a quick look at Howard Miller's pieces.
So back to that change. So that is really it. Back to the changes. That is really what I would say has been the biggest one that I've seen. Is just that change in that room, and I'm so appreciative of how Habitation has embraced that.
Thank you.
So
Thank you very much. I am proud. It's a really cool story. I should also talk about, and actually that's also a great transition. No, that's a great transition into this week's Habitation audio log, which is again here on the 4th segment of the show, kind of a standard issue or a standard thing that we do. And it's a difficult thing to do these days because I will be completely frank. All hell has broken loose to a certain extent on the plan associated with the opening of the new location in St. Louis Park. And I am always reluctant to even talk about this at this particular point because right now no work has been completed at Habitation in its new location while the City of St. Louis Park's inspection department has basically not been issuing any permits. And we may wind up doing in the very near future a radio program talking about the difficulties associated with being a small business and working with a city that is making it much, much harder than it necessarily should be. So I wasn't sure if I was going to read the Habitation audio log or not, but you know what? The heck with it. I am going to read.
I can't wait. I love this. I love this part of the show.
I wish
I really do.
It used to be so positive. It really was. And then...
the truth is always positive.
Yeah, well...
It will set you free.
Eventually, but not until it beats the crap out of you. All right, let's do it. The heck with it. All right, here we go. Habitation audio log, installment 9. We've all lost. Some of you may have noticed that I didn't actually do a Habitation audio log last week, and that the previous few were a bit amorphous. The reason has been that the build-out of the new location stopped over a month ago after I ran into problems with the St. Louis Park Inspections Department. Since that time, no work has been done, no permits have been issued, and no contractors have been on site. As of today, we still haven't received the city's approval to work on the site, and they have indicated that they will not be issuing a permit until, and this is the latest request after we had followed or completed a checklist of a ton of unusual requirements from them. No permits will be issued until the Metropolitan Council completes something called a whack and sack determination. Yeah, anybody who knows what that is. For those of you unfamiliar with this type of thing, a whack and sack determination refers to an evaluation of a commercial property's water and sewage usage when one owner or tenant is replaced by another. Interestingly, the previous tenant was both retail location and a commercial laundry. So the assumption that we will be using more water and creating more waste than they were is absolutely absurd. Nevertheless, the City of St. Louis Park Inspections Department has decided that they want to see the results of the whack and sack before they'll issue us a build-out. The Metropolitan Council says that it will not be able to return its determination until around the 24th of July of this month. And since all contractors have already been set free, since we can't do any more work, everything is ground to a complete and total halt. As such, Designer Rehab's future is unknown in this particular location. I may just give up and turn it into a storage area and then go rent space in a city that actually will appreciate a new business being opened. The end.
I didn't realize you were going to become a full-time waterbed store. And that was what they were worried about.
I'll tell you, if
you were going to pioneer the double deck, the bunk waterbed.
The shortest lived concept of all time, the double waterbed, the waterbed bunk bed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
It's terrible, and I've been trying to work with them, and there's so many things I can and cannot or should not say on this show. All I know is that right now it's a vacant space in an area that the city actually got a grant from the county to try to revitalize and encourage small businesses to move in. And then as a small business, I try to move in, and it's been terrifying and horrible.
Yeah. It's amazing what happens when you give people the tiniest amount of power. Oh, no, that's horrible.
You know, we had this one segment, the Habitation blog, that I actually had to tape over when I had the art girls in, Holly and Kelly. And my lawyer told me that I needed to not play that show.
Let's rewind that one.
So anyway, there it is. We don't have time for some additional questions. I apologize for that, but
I had a blast.
I'm glad. Matt, thank you.
Thank you.
For being on the show. We really do appreciate it. On behalf of our expert mixologist, me, and of course, Matt Thiel, I'd like to wish everyone good luck this coming week and remind you that, in the words of George Bernard Shaw, success does not consist of never making mistakes, but of never making the same mistake twice.
Nice.
There's a lot inside that quote. Folks, thanks. Have a great week coming up, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
Honey, will you see the way she walks? Hey, brother, pour the wine.